Hello everyone, Pockets here, back and playing some more EVE Online, again on Cassandra, ready to finish up the industry missions. So let's see what we can do. It's going to dive straight into it. So welcome back to the series. Hope you guys are enjoying it. I'm really looking forward to getting through these career agents and getting on to some more sandboxy type activities. So let's see, we got that. Let's talk to the poison. There we go. So we completed that, just built them a shuttle that they can use now to get off the station. Aha. So 9 of 10. We're going to get these last two wrapped up here in this episode real quick. What do we need to do? Turns out that one of my production systems was spying on an enemy, hiding. Draw him out. You'll act as a decoy. Okay. Fly to the objection, mine some ore, and destroy the pirates that show up. Okay. Yeah, cool. So this is what I was talking about. We can do this in our venture. It's not a problem. Hangars. Venture. We're already in it. Don't know why I'm being so silly. So yeah, no, I've been talking to a few new players, and people seem to be enjoying the series and like seeing how I get through this stuff. So that's pretty good. I like it. That kind of feedback is good. It makes us, it makes me more likely to keep going. So I like that. What else? So one of the key things I tell new players, let's just get into that since I've been having this discussion a little bit while we're just sort of mining and stuff here, is New Eden is not like, EVE does not hold your hand. That's one of the things with the game. It's one of the things that makes it special. It's, you kind of forge your own path. You decide what you like to do and you find the best way to do it that works for you, and you go and do that. You find people that like doing those things and join up with them. But once you're outside of the career agents, there's not a lot of hand holding. Like, it doesn't lead you along a storyline. If you want story, you go find it, right? Like, that's kind of one of the things I like about EVE. You make your own stories, you find out where you can get involved in the stories, and do that. So this is my suggestion. Step 1, remind yourself and keep reminding yourself until you get it, until it sinks in, until you really understand and feel it, that your ship, this right here, is not my character. The ship is expendable. The ship is meant, it's ammo. It's a renewable, consumable resource. Okay, every time I click undock, doesn't matter what level of space you're in, every time I click that button, I assume that ship isn't coming home. Okay? I assume the ship isn't coming home. If I do come back with the ship, that's income. That's extra ISK. That's, that's a bonus. The reason for that, even in this ship, doing this, okay, this is a starter system, but outside of the starter systems, because it's against the law in starter systems,
is defeated.
Can we have... Alright, I guess we'll mine another rock. I'm just waiting for the pirates to show. In any other systems but the starter systems, if somebody decides that they want to shoot you, they can find a way to do it. Yes, high security space is safer. It's not really, but it's supposed to be safer, but it's not. EVE is a dangerous place, and you will, at some point, get shot at. It's what's called suicide ganking. So if this wasn't a starter system and someone decided that they didn't like me or my venture, or they liked they watched my YouTube videos, whether they like them or not, they want a pockets kill or a kill on their kill board, they could show up in a really cheap, a handful of frigates or destroyers or whatever. They'll know what they need, and they can come, they can shoot me. Now, in response to shooting me, they will lose their ships. Concord, the police, will come and shoot them. Concord is a punishment organization, not a deterrent. Okay, so the rule is they'll kill you and then they'll pay for it by losing their ship. That's just a reality right now in EVE. I don't think that's ever going to change. And to be honest, I'm not there's some things. Anyway, we won't get into that, but just know that every time you undock, you have to assume that that ship is not coming home. We're going to go loot this wreck. Not this wreck. She's probably in the container. So you just assume that ship's not coming home, that it's consumable, and it's expendable, and it's basically ammo. You get in it, you go out, you get destroyed. Your character is this. This page is your character. Okay? This is outside of one very niche specific case. Once you train skills, they're your skill points. You decide whether you extract them using extractors and sell them or move them. They're yours. They don't go away. This is what you're building. You're building your character sheet. Okay, this constitutes your character. This is who you are in New Eden. Your character flies ships. But you are an Empyrean. You are an immortal. And even if your clone dies, if this ship gets exploded, you go into a pod and that clone dies, you wake up in a new clone. You don't lose skill points. You're still your same character. You still have your same abilities. You lose your ship. You lose anything that was in your ship. If you're in a clone and you're using what's called implants, like here we have this limited ocular filter. If this clone dies, this pod dies, I lose that implant. This is consumable. This is expendable.
Docking request accepted.
So your skills are yours. That's your character. You're building your character sheet that's telling you what you can do and how well you can do it. This ship, if I undock and I fly to low sec and get blown up, it's done. It's over. Don't get attached to ships. Your character's your character. That is my biggest thing, and I'm stressing it. Yes, it sounds like I'm rambling. I'm saying it, but I say it over and over and over because it's really important. You make a mistake, your ship blows up, you lose everything that's on it, in it, and around it. So don't carry things just willy-nilly that you're not willing to lose. If you stuff everything into a hauler and fly through, a system like Udema, where code lives, and they blow you up, like, that sucks. You're gonna... And a lot of groups are good that way. If they find out you're a new character, you kind of just lost everything, they'll help you out. So don't freak out, don't start yelling. But, if you do die, just in local chat, be like, hey, what happened? Someone will tell you. But it can happen, so be careful. So don't carry things you don't need to carry. We're going to complete this mission, grab the next one. That's the next point. We have an Avatas. Going to give us a blueprint for 5 more, so if we do lose some, we can get more. Going to give us a Neuros when we complete the mission. That's so we can pack up and move. Which is ironic. We were just talking about that. It wants us to... accept. Okay. That's just because it thinks I need to move it. Can I complete the mission? No, I'm going to repackage the one it gave us for now. Actually, no. Let's see if we can build it. Let's see if we can build it. Oh, no. We can't build it at all. Okay. Let's repackage the one we have. So I'm just going to repackage it. This puts it into a little bucket. We'll figure out what we need to do for the exploration. We have other frigates we can use, so worst case, we'll build another one. I just wanted to get this quickly done. Complete mission. There we go. So that is it. We are now done with the industry career agent. Let's go back and do... Before I finish my point. So first up is a data site. Okay, so we're going to fit up one of our frigates for exploration. We're going to accept this mission. We're going to go into our hangars. What do we want to fly? Let's fly the Tristan. We're going to fly the Tristan because I like the Tristan. The Tristan is fun. We're going to change the name to, I don't know, Beep Boop. Yeah, Beep Boop works. It's a drone ship. And we're going to go in here and here. And we're going to fit up for exploration. So let's do this. These windows and places you guys can see them. We can shrink this down a little bit. Get a little more real estate out of it. And we want ship modules. What do we need? We need the civilian data analyzer. We need the civilian relic analyzer. We need a... Let's do an afterburner, but we're going to do the afterburner 1 because we have it. We need a core probe launcher, and we need the probes. Did they give us probes? I don't have ammo selected. Ammunition. Probes. We're going to put those probes in there so these light up. If they're not in there, you can't launch them. You have to reload it before you can use the probes. What do we want in our low slots? We have 3 of these. We have cargo expanders. Neither of which are very good. Let's go ahead and put these in here so we can accelerate it a little faster. It's not really good, but we're going to do it anyway. We don't need rigs. Let's fit railguns in our high slots, just in case we have to shoot some baddies. We have 2 high slots for that. We could do... So, fitting window, if you're new. This is your turret hardpoints. We have 2 of them. When they're empty, they're hollow. When you have a gun fit, they're filled. We do have 3 high slots. This one is what's called a utility high slot, because we can only fit 2 weapons. You can see there's no other dots. And we have an extra one. It's called a utility high slot. That's for things like cloaking devices, probe scanners, remote reppers. So anything that's not a gun really can go in there. Yes. This side here is for missiles. We have 0 missile hardpoints, so we can't fit missile launchers. Our festival launcher is actually a utility. We can fit that. I don't think it needs a turret. We're going to science it. Right? So it's a utility, and we can put fireworks in there and shoot those instead if we want. But we're not going to do that today. We are going to fit for exploration because it wants us to do that. We don't have rigs. That's fine for now. I have to fit the... Boom. Alright. And our ammo. Okay. And let's put some antimatter in here. We're going to bring antimatter and iron. This gives us the 2 sort of ranges. This is long range. This is high DPS. We're going to start with antimatter in the guns. 1 and 2. And the rest is we're going to put in our cargo hold. Beautiful. Our ship, Beat Bop, is now ready to go. Do I have a skin for it? I don't. Maybe we have one here. Let's see. Thrasher, Condor, Cursor, Catalyst, Corpsman, Extreme Slasher. No skins. Oh, that's sad days. Alright, so there's our ship Beat Boop ready to go. We've already accepted the mission. We're going to go and scan down a site. I think that's what it told us to do. Oh, come on. Got loady there. Okay, so let me finish that thought. Actually, I don't even remember what I was talking about. Don't remember what I'm talking about. Let's do this mission because we're going to have to scan. So let's just see exactly what it says. Start conversation. We have to read the information. I wish it would keep the conversation there. Now you'll start scanning for each type of cosmic signature. Something can only be done using a combat. First is a data site. It means you'll need to find a civilian data analyzer. As a side note, okay. Scan down the site and use your scanner probes. Okay, so in here, so we're going to get rid of the anomalies this time. Like it's sort of the ones that are pre-scanned, and we're going to try to find one of these is a data site. We need to figure out which one it is. So, we're going to bring up our map. F9 brings up the map. Or, on this window here, you can click this little solar system map, brings up the map. Or this brings up the map. But this is the map we want right here. We don't want this map. So, the difference is, see this map? If we bring up this map, this is our system map, or our whole map. That doesn't do what we want it to do. That shows us all that. There's another way to get to it, but I just like to use this button because we're going to use this window anyway. So right now we have no probes out. These red X's all correspond to one of these sites. So you can see here ALU 600. If I select that, this one with the red circle around it is ALU 600. Okay, so these are your signature IDs, and they correspond in here so you can see what you're doing. We're going to scan a cluster of these first. We're going to let's grab this because it's fun and it's over here. So we're going to start scanning one of these 2 down. So let's launch our probes. I did this in this order so you can see once we get the probes out. Do I not have... Oh. Launch the probes. Sorry, this is return probes. So if you click on this, it returns them back to your cargo. So now you can see we have this little cluster of mess over here. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to scroll in so you can see. This is our cluster of probes. Okay. We can move this around. So right now, this is just telling them where they want them. This is not actually where they are. But this is kind of us sort of telling them where we want them to scan. Each circle represents a single probe, and we have 8 probes. See, we have 8 probes, there's 8 circles. I can hold Alt. You can kind of see here I can make them smaller and bigger. If I hold Alt, see that? If I hold Control, I can make the scan sort of the distance of I'm trying to think of the words. This is the distance the probes are from each other, you can see. So now you can see it really clear. Each probe will scan that circle. Now this isn't going to do great. It'll, might ping some things, but what you want to do is you're trying to triangulate the point, right? So you're trying to scan. Okay, sorry, I had to sneeze. So what you're trying to do is you want each probe to ping off of a thing, and it'll be able to sort of narrow down where it is. Think triangulation, right? So you have a triangle. If it's in a 2D plane, you have a triangle. You're trying to find out where this dot is. you take 3 probes, you measure the you ping it, measure the distance from each one, and that'll tell you where the ping is, right? Because it's going to narrow it down. You're doing that in 3-dimensional space, you need more. We have 8, right? So you have, each probe's going to ping it, measure the distance, and that's going to start narrowing it down. So we don't want them spread out like this. You want an overlap. So if we bring this down, now you can see we have some slight overlapping. This still isn't great though, because if it's in the middle, it's only going to get 1. So you want it overlapped like this. So your strongest signature is right in the middle now, where all your probes overlap. So anything in there is going to be really narrowed down, and you're trying to narrow down its location and bring your probes in to locate it. So I'll show you this in practice. So I'm going to go back here. This is your default. We're going to go back to a pinpoint location, so that overlaps them nicely. We get this nice area. You can kind of see it around the center of the probes. There's reasons to use the spread out as well for like combat probing and to like so if I'm going to scan something I don't see, if I didn't know it was sort of in this area, you'd spread out, you'd find things, and you'd start narrowing it down from there. That's combat probing. We can do that at some point. The other thing I'm going to do, because I don't like seeing it, I don't want to see, if I can remember where it is, hang on. D-scan, it's over here, right here, this one. So if I unclick this, you can see this green sort of sphere. This is my D-scan. If I change this to a wedge, right? So this is where my ship is looking. If I hit scan, it scans everything in that cone. Okay, so this is how you can kind of see what's around you. Very different than probe scanning. So I'm going to turn this off. Usually I turn it off and leave it off until I really need it, so I always forget it's there. Anyway, that's off. We want to scan this one. We're going to scan this one right here. So the first thing you want to do is I like to get straight down, grab this little block, which is the center of your scanner probes, and go here. Okay. The other thing I like to do is I like to make sure, so I can rotate it. So we're starting face down. I want to get centered on that field. So then I double click, it'll rotate 90 degrees, right? See that? Flips it, pull it down. And now you can see right now that the red circle, that's where our signature, that's the echo, right? So we're scanning it, it's somewhere in that red sphere. Okay, the X just represents the center of that red sphere. So I want to get like this. Now, here's my scanner probe. If I was to get it down to 1, we don't need to do that, but so if I do hold shift, you can see this is my individual probes, right? But you can move each one individually. You don't need to do that. Don't worry about that. 1 probe, get it centered. Just for practice, I'm going to start at 8. Okay. So you can say click that here, or I can use Alt. No, Alt. There we go. Alt scroll up goes in, Alt scroll down doesn't. There we go. So I'm going to go to 8. So you can hold Alt and use your scroll wheel, or you can just click here. That is what I'm trying to say. You can hit hotkeys for it. I usually have it set up as hotkeys on my mouse. I don't have that right now. For the sake of the video, I want to do it this way. So I put him to 8. We are now centered-ish on it. If you zoom in, you can get even more centered. You don't, at this stage of the scan, it's less important to be right on it like this close. If you're struggling to get the final scan, like you can see I'm way overdoing it. We can probably do this at 4. Because there's the circle. It's in the center. What I want to do is have the circle sort of filled. So we're going to do 8. We're going to hit scan and see what happens. So now, let me move this. We're set up, we're ready, we're pinpointed on it, we're as close as we're going to get. We're going to click Analyze. Our probes are going to move out to these locations. We don't actually see them because I don't have probe showing, but you'd see little lines. They're going to go out. Now they're scanning. They've all echoed out in their sphere. And they're like, hey, we've read these 2 things. Okay, so this one was in tight enough that we got a pinpoint location that's an easy scan. So it turned green. We can warp to it. It's a gas site. This other one's orange. Now, this one's a relic site, so we don't want it. It means it sees that it's there, but we didn't. You can see it's kind of at the edge. It's not in some of these other probes, so it hasn't pinpointed the location, right? It knows it's roughly in that spot, and we can go look deeper. But neither of these are a data site, so we're going to move on, because we want a data site. So we're going to go get this cluster. So the other thing we can do is we can double-click to center the camera. So I've centered here. I'm going to kind of get both of these roughly in the center. Right, so that looks pretty good. That's kind of in the center of the 2 things. We're still at 8, so we're going to analyze. This is a trick. Once you've got the first ping, you sort of hammer in on one. As your skills get better, you can get more accurate results as well. So if you're gonna do this as a job, definitely train those skills so it's quicker to scan. So we get our first ping. It's going to look at these 2. It's going to kind of do the same thing. You're going to see the bars fill up. Aha! Actually, that worked out really well. We got everything. So we got ourselves a gas, and a relic. Neither of these are what we want. So we're going to go back to the top. We're going to move our probes over to the center here. We're going to double click so we get centered in. And let's kind of grab these three. Right, so if I wasn't practiced, I would just pick one like I did the first time. This other one's like way up here, so we're just going to grab these two. Try to center them. That looks good like that. Analyze. I would like to get one so we can get to the next stage and I show you how that works, but this may also just ping them up. Actually, doing this tutorial is making me want to fit up my, there we go, gas and relic. So we have this site left. This one last site to look at. Alright. What we're going to do is we're going to go over here. So if I left mouse button and move, it rotates the camera. If I right mouse, so that was left. If I right mouse, it slides. Okay, we're going to center, double clicking. Get on the probes. Get this guy centered. So he's completely fit within. I'm going to bring this down to 4. So it's about the same size as one of my circles, right? So my dudes are scanning a certain range. And I've got the red circle kind of completely within the center probe's range. And then everything else is kind of overlapping it. I usually remap this button to B. It is B. Unable to perform requested action. Oh, it's already scanning. My drones are moving. My probes are moving. There we go. Again, I have 12 buttons on my mouse, and button 9, 8, and 7 are for scanning. It ups up and down the size. There's a data site. Perfect. It is exactly what I wanted. Okay, so we can see here we got a scan. Now, because of its location, we know it's somewhere in this plane. So it's not a sphere anymore, it's a disk. It's somewhere in this circle. So what we want to do is completely get that circle. Slide it over here. And rotate it this way. Now, because it's a circle, I want that completely in my scan range. We could probably go down, depending on your skill strength. So we're going to analyze it again from this point and see what happens. Normally, I would go down to 2 AU and scan again, but I'm trying to drag it out to show how you kind of the process of narrowing it down, because the tutorial is pretty easy. When you get out to do it for real, it's a lot harder. Well, depending on where you are. Oh yeah, look at that. That worked. So because we got that circle completely within our center of the scan, it was able to narrow it down to 0. So we close our windows. We're done scanning. We don't need to anymore. We can warp to the data site. See that? So we're going to hit this button, call our drones, reload, so that we're ready for our next scan. And then we're going to warp to the site. So you just click this little button here to warp to the site. It's wonderful. Yeah, doing this tutorial has made me want to fire Kel back up into his Astero and do some more low sec and null sec wormhole scanning. If I do, I'll record it for sure. Take a break from anomic agents and go lose an Astero in a wormhole somewhere. Probably use a covert ops frigate, to be honest. Normally expect you to find... So we're just going to go hack a can. You can read that if you want. So this is what a data site looks like, or a relic site. They'll both kind of look the same other than what spawns. So here's our can. If we look at this. There's our can. Normally this would be some sort of like array or a satellite or some weird whoop whoop thing. That's my description. So we're going to go hack this can. So we're going to lock it up. We're going to use the data module here. We need to be within 5 kilometers. Okay. So we're going to turn our afterburner on for a second. We're going to pulse it. We're going to look at my ship. He's going towards it. It's like, here we go. When we're within 5. Now, normally you don't want to stop moving. What I recommend is orbiting at 2500 just to keep your ship moving. When you're in dangerous space, this makes you harder to hit. Makes it harder to sneak up on you, right? Because you're moving around. And there we have it. Okay, so we're going to orbit it. We're within 5 kilometers. We're going to use F2. We're not going to use guns. We don't need guns. So F1 is my data module. Turn it on. Opens the hacking game. So this game, you have as long as you want to hack this in the basic sites. There's some more advanced sites where you don't. But the idea here is that you want to find the core node. Okay, so in here, this is like a representation of the digital map of this can, the lock. And in here is a core that we have to destroy. We're a virus, and we have to sneak through, and we have to destroy it to unlock the can. And you do that by clicking on these nodes. Now, there's a rule of 6. I'm not going to get into that right now. We'll do that when we do discovery, but I'm going to kind of play off of it. So if I click this node, it's going to let me look at this node. This is a node we don't see right now. Right? We can't click on it. If I click this one, it's going to give me access to all these, so I'm going to click this one. So this tells me 4. There is something. Could be an upgrade. It could be a virus or an antivirus, and it could be the core. Something within 4 clicks. So we got to go a good distance. Like this is not going to work. That's only 3 clicks away. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to try to head towards this general area. Something within 3. So we know this isn't it because that's only 2 away. 1, 2, 3, 3, 3. So 2 more. That tells me it could be any of these. Now, obviously, process of elimination. It's 4 from here, so it's probably one of these 2. Whoops. 1 away. We know it's one of these 2. Oh, it's not this one. So there's our core. Now, when you're doing real sites, this is much bigger. It's not as easy. We'll learn some tricks, but just kind of click till you find this. Now, here's your core node. This is how much coherence it has. Coherence. It's its hit points, let's say. It's how much damage you have to do. This is its strength. This is how much damage it does back. Down here you have your coherence. We're doing 25 damage per hit. Or sorry, we have 25 hit points. So we can take 25 points of damage before we're incoherent and we get kicked out of the system. And we do 10 points of damage with our virus strength. This is modified by rigs, skills, modules. Ships can also bonus them, I believe. It's been a long time. But yeah, so you want to get that up as high as you can. So we're going to click on this once. We did our 10 damage, we took 10 damage. If we die before we fail the hack, it kicks us out. If you fail enough times, the can explodes, you don't get what's in it. But this one's nice and easy, so we are now hacked. Hacked cans can be opened. We have to get within 24, so I was orbiting a little further out. I probably want to orbit within 1,000. The ship isn't as agile. We're going to loot that deal, and we're on our way. So that's a very basic tutorial on how to hack a can, how to do hacking. Again, once you do the actual sites, as you get into scarier space, the hacks get more complex as well. So high-sec hacks are still pretty easy. We'll probably be able to do those pretty quick. You can't use a civilian module. You got to train the skills and use the proper modules for them, but they're pretty easy. Low-sec is a little harder. And then wormholes have null-sec space sites in them, and then null-sec has some special ones. There's some special ones in high-sec that are hard as well. Ghost sites and whatnot, but we're not going to get into that. But yeah, the hacks are a little harder once you get out there and start doing them, but it's a lot of fun. I find it very peaceful. You fly around, cloak your ship, scan down everything, find the stuff you're interested in. The real scary part is traveling if you're in like low-sec or null-sec, so gate jumping can be scary, so you want to do stuff for that. And when you actually go to the site to hack, people can sneak up on you. Wormholes are always scary. The only time they're not scary for me is if I'm in a safe place, cloaked up, and not likely to be seen. Like, that's the only time you're not scared in a wormhole. Or I guess docked up in a station, unless someone starts shooting the station. Can we just cash it in, or do I have to take it out of my cargo? No. Okay, grabbed it out of my cargo hold. Good. Now it wants us to probably do a relic site, would be my guess. Right, a relic site. So we're going to go do the same thing now. The nice thing is, because we haven't logged off, the game now remembers your scans in a system for that session, as long as you're logged in. If I log out and log back in, it goes away. But if I undock again, all of our previous scans for this system should be okay. That wasn't the case a few years ago. So you would dock up and come back out and everything would be back to 0. So what you would normally do is scan everything, bookmark them, and then fly to the bookmarks. But in this case, that relic site that we found is already scanned. Nobody's taken it, so we're just going to go straight there. And that'll be even if you leave the system and come back. It saves it for that entire play session, as long as you don't log out. So that's nice. That was a really wonderful change for explorers. Because you'd be scouting, you'd be like, oh, you know what, maybe I'll go back and do that site. There's nobody around. And then you have to go back and rescan it, or you bookmark it. Now you don't have to bookmark, which is good. Yep, we need to recover. Yeah, same thing. So there's our can. Again, normally this is like a wrecked ship. You can see there. There's like a little bit of wreckage this time. We're going to go over to this can. We're going to lock it up. I'm going to switch this to default orbit 1000. We're going to turn our afterburner on. Approach. Afterburner. So this does help the afterburner. It means that we get to go faster. I only threw it on because we had it. We're going to get orbiting, just so it keeps us kind of in range. Excuse me, hiccups. And we're going to turn off the afterburner so we don't slingshot around because we don't have really good skills. Yes, I know. So now we're going to use the relic analyzer. So it's two different analyzers, but it's basically the same idea. We're going to click the first one. We know it's 5, so it's not that way. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's not that way. It could be here. So it's basically somewhere in this area. Let's go this way. Why not? 3, 2, 1. It's one of these two nodes. There we go. We got it. Click it. And it's hacked. Now we're close enough we can just crack the can, loot our crap, and get off grid. So when you're hacking in scarier space, you want to be on grid as short as possible. If you want to check it out, I do a little bit. I'm not great at it, but I did some wormhole exploration and some low-sec exploration in my wormhole series. If you can't find it, let me know. I'll get you a link. There's about 5 episodes where I start right after the career agents, I believe. Yeah, I did enter through the career agents, and right from there, we started exploring in high sec. We dipped into low sec, and then I found a wormhole and went into it. It was pretty exciting and pretty fun. So if you want to check that out, let me know. If you can't find the series, it's like 5 little videos. Probably about an hour, 2 hours worth of content. A lot of fun. He is going to fire back up. He's in a wormhole, so I may need to just do that, though. I like doing it with a cloak. To be honest, I like it. That's all I'm going to say. There. We're in here. Pack up this mission. Those are nice and quick. Let's see what the next mission is. There's one more. We can probably finish it up this episode. It's a nice little run. The gas site. So we're going to get a pass key to let us through the gate. Scanned in a gas cloud to create an artificial cloud. Well, you usually reap it with a gas cloud harvester. Your only concern is that you make it through the second area and bring back the proof of discovery. Okay. So they're going to give us a key. We're going to get an Imicus. Awesome. This is the Galente Exploration Frigate. So when we do complete this, we're going to get an actual exploration frigate. If we look at this, this is why I think the exploration portion gave us an Navitas, because this is what the exploration... There's some redesigns floating around. It may get done. I don't hate it. It's very iconic, you know. I like it. And then, so you can see here, up from there. So this gives you a 7.5% bonus per skill level, so per Galente frigate skill, 7.5% bonus to core and combat scanner probe strength. So the scanning strength, when you're doing the scanning down to look them up, it makes that easier, so you'll get stronger signals. It also, just for the ship, it's a roll bonus, so it doesn't matter what you train your skill to. This is just a one-time bonus for the ship to relic and data analyzer strength. So remember our virus strength? It was 10. We were doing 10 damage. If we fly this ship, we'll do 15. Okay. My favorite ship, you know, because I want to drag out the episode as long as I can. Here's my favorite exploration ship. This is my... I know it's not the cheapest of the exploration ships, but it is my favorite. Is the Astero. As you can see here, Galente frigate bonus, 10% bonus to drone hit points, because it's a drone boat. 4% bonus to all armor resistances, so if you do get in trouble, it is combat capable. You can fit it to fight. 100% reduction in cloaking device CPU usage. So when you turn it on, it's easier to fit cloaks. Leaves you more room for fitting other things. A 3.75% bonus to core and combat strength. So the Imicus has a 5% bonus, or 7.5% bonus per level. This gives it to you right off the start. You don't have to train all the skills up. However, you do have to train 2 racial skills to really use it. You have to use Galente and Damar. It's a pirate ship. 10% bonus to virus strength. No, not 10%, 10 bonus, so it brings it from 10 to 20 for a basic one. Can fit a Covert Ops cloak. So Covert Ops is different than other cloaks. Most cloaks you can't warp while wearing it, or while cloaked. With the Covert Ops cloak, if you select a few ships can fit it, but you can actually warp cloaked. And then you get an activation reactivation relay by 15 seconds, so you can cloak more often. You turn it off, 15 seconds shorter on their cooldown. Pretty awesome. The Covert Ops ships are actually really good as well. The Tech 2 explorations, we can look at those at a later date, because alphas can't train the Tech 2 ones. So your best bet as an alpha is to train to just these cheap ones. Just use T1 frigates, and if you lose them, they typically pay for themselves immediately. So we did already have one scan down once again because we managed to hit them all in our first scan pass. And again, typically I'll scan a whole system and then I'll go exploring. If there's lots of competition, so like if we're in high sec, as soon as I get a relic site or whatever I'm running, I'll run out and do it. But typically in a typical session, especially in lower nullsec, I'll scan everything down and then I'll kind of go in and out until it gets dangerous and then see how I go from there. It just means that I know what's there and I can bookmark the ones I want to run. And so here we go. I didn't take the key probably. Bet you any money. So we're going to dock back up. There's a lesson. She gave me a gate key. So I'll show you. I stop my ship and try to activate it. Oh, can't activate it. I need a key. There's a couple missions when you're running actual missions that have gate keys as well. So you want to make sure you have those in your hold. Otherwise, nothing works. Otherwise, nothing works. Okay. Part of my popping. Check my timer. Oh, yeah, it's almost food o'clock.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Docking request accepted. Oh, we got something. Why did we get something? Oh, because we still haven't redeemed the destroyer. Let's do that too. Oh, it's in my redeem queue, eh? We're actually going to leave this here for now. Because this isn't our final destination. We'll unpack that when we're doing level 1 missions. Did it actually give us a catalyst? Does it say? Doesn't say. Okay, we'll figure out what it is. It'll be a surprise for when we start doing level 1 missions. We'll do them in a destroyer. Because we can. Gas pass, gas key. Some Navitas we can build. We want to fly some Logi. Okay, now we can warp to the gas site. And then we can activate the gate, and then we can finish up this session. And then we only have the advanced military and the business career. So that's awesome. I'll probably burn through the business career in 1 episode. We'll see. Might take 2. I'll see how many missions it is. The military career is the final, and it's about 10 missions if I remember correctly. So that'll probably be another 2-parter. We get to do like blowing up our ships and stuff like that. I know I was talking at some point about some stuff. I might just do a new bro primer. If that's something you're interested in, my thoughts on Eve and what I would tell new bros. If you're interested in an actual entire episode like that, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll record that. Just kind of my advice to new players, or even to vets. Sometimes players that have been playing for a little while can still benefit from some of that. You know. So it looks like the can respawns. So if we open this and it's an empty can, it says to just wait a second. Hold your horses. We're not going to bother with the outer burner because we're already within loot range. There we go. And dock up and we can finish up the exploration portion.
Warp drive active.
Yeah. I do love exploring. If you guys want to do something other than combat, definitely train into some exploring. Even if you just do it in high sec, it's a nice chill activity. You can sit on comms, chat with your buddies, and dig for combat sites. We're also going to be scanning combat sites in this with this character. That's part of the deal, and we'll go into all of that once we get there. I'll show you some resources that are available and some ships. We'll fit up some ships and we'll try some things, see what works and what doesn't, that sort of thing. And I mean, it'd be nice to be able to assault frigates. We can't do that. Destroyers, other than maybe we might be able to get away with an Algos for the most part, but we're probably going to do a Vexor as our primary sort of exploration ship. We'll fit it up for drones and exploring. So yeah, pretty excited to get this series rolling. Just decided I just wanted to go back to basics, right, and build up another character. It's part of the fun for me. So there we have it. We have finished the exploration career. So we have left is the business career. How many missions is that? 10. So this might be a 2-parter. Depends on how long some of them take. There's lots of flying in this one, so that'll be fun. And then the career agent is also 10 missions. They build us up. So that'll be the next probably 4 episodes, and then we will get to the business of the sandbox. But so as always, if you guys are looking for a place to hang out, chat with other similarly minded people, we have a bunch of chill dudes and lots of knowledge. Come check out Malro. If you want to talk to me directly, you can either comment in the comment section down below, or pop on over to my PDK Discord, which is the place for me and everything that I do on YouTube. So all the other games as well that I intend to play. So hit me up there. Both of those can be found on my website, malro.org and pocketsdk.org. Both go there right now until we decide what we're doing with the Malro page. So they go there. Just a nice little handy place to have some links. Do have some other resources there, so as I use things, I'll link it there so you guys can easily find anything that's used in any of my videos. I'll put it up there as well as we go forward, so you guys can find those. As always, if you like the video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Really helps the channel out, gets my videos out there for people to see. And as always, we'll see y'all next time. Take care, and I'm out of here.